Welcome to another episode of the Palm Springs Baker. Now you know what that means. It's baking that's bawdy and a little bit naughty. But we always bring you recipes that are gonna give you something that looks fabulous, tastes fabulous, and it's always going to be very easy to make. You know, the holidays are that wonderful time of year when we're all gathering. But when you get right down to it, we all want to find that perfect gift for Uncle Harry that everyone else wishes they found. And we want to plan that wonderful neighborhood party that Barbara down the street is going to grit her teeth with jealousy over. And of course, we have to have that quintessential show-stopping dinner dessert that dear old cranky Aunt Martha, who thinks her last name is Stewart, is finally going to creak out a little compliment for you. So move over, Aunt Martha. I've got the perfect holiday dessert for you. It's a eggnog custard filled pavlova. We have to make sure there's plenty of goodies in the house for all the dear children. And you know what that means? There's a shitload of baking to do. So get the damn lead out and get the sugar and flour flying. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to set our oven to just 300 degrees, and we're going to position our oven racks at the lowest position and the center position. We're going to get our baking pans all ready for our meringues. Make sure that you use parchment paper. And I got 9 different circles from cups or bowls or what have you, and simply traced around each one of them. Then make sure to flip over the parchment paper so that none of the ink from your pen transfers onto the pavlova. So now it's time to start making those pretty pavlovas, and that means we have to start the meringue. So we're going to get 6 large eggs, and make sure, tip number 2, make sure that you use room temperature eggs. Take them out of your fridge and put them on the counter at least an hour before you start this. So one by one, we're gonna crack the eggs and put them into a larger bowl. So now we're going to start beating those egg whites. And what we're going to do is beat them for 1.5 minutes until they're nice and frothy. Then I'm going to start adding in the sugar. After about 6 minutes of beating that with the sugar, I'm going to add vinegar, believe it or not, and the cornstarch. Look at that gorgeous meringue. Isn't that beautiful? That's what we're after, are those beautiful stiff peaks. So now we're gonna start making these little pavlovas. And we're gonna take a spoonful, and we've got our pan here with all of our wonderful little circles on there. And what you wanna do, this gets you need a little patience, but just spread that pavlova right to the edge of the circle here on your parchment. That guideline is there for you, so don't worry. You can make these perfect because you've got that little circle there. And then just keep adding meringue until you get each pavlova about 1/2 inch high. And then we're going to pop them in the oven. So we have all of our pavlovas made by spreading the meringue into the circular shapes on our pan, and now it's time to get them into the oven. But we're going to turn down the preheated oven from 300 degrees down to just 250 degrees. So we're going to put them on the center and the bottom rack of our oven. So our perfectly pretty little pavlovas have been baking in the oven for 1 hour. I've turned the oven off completely, and now they're just going to sit in the oven for 3 hours. But meanwhile, we're going to start making our easy peasy little eggnog pudding. So let's talk about this yummy eggnog custard pudding. You know, you can stand over the stove for hours and hours, stirring and stirring like they did in the dark ages, and hope to hell you don't scorch the hell out of it. But I'd like to do it a little more quickly so that I can have a merry martini. You are so good. So I do it this way with one of these. Trust me, Aunt Martha, that old bag, she's never gonna know the damn difference. Just use the Instant Pie filling, add some eggnog and nutmeg, cook it over the stove for 5 minutes, and damn it, you're done. So now it's time to build our Pavlova tree. I'm so excited. So we're gonna start by taking our largest Pavlova meringue and setting it on our platter. And then we're gonna put a layer, just a small amount of our eggnog custard, spread it around a little bit, but not too much. Then we're gonna take our bag of whipped cream and pipe just around the edge. And then we're gonna drizzle just a little bit of our raspberry sauce on top of the whipped cream. And that's it. We'll just do that and keep repeating all 9 layers. So now we're gonna start decorating our Pavlova tree. Cut some little sprigs of rosemary. It really adds the crowning jewel to the whole look of our little tree. So there it is, our wonderful festive Pavlova Christmas tree. And remember, you can make those meringues up to a couple days in advance, so you don't have so much work all at one time. So tune in next time for cookies, cookies, cookies. We'll be making all those memory-filled ones like my mom used to make. Her name was Carol, and she was our very own Christmas Carol. Until then, be good, be you, and bake.